What's up, kinfolk? Welcome to the Black on Black Wealth podcast, where we have interesting and exciting conversations with people from around Chicago and around the world. Today, I am joined by my brother, my sensei, head instructor of Bushido Karate and Fitness, Mr. Tyrone Hemingway. Man, what's up, brother?
Man, what's going on, brother? I'm happy to be here.
Man, I'm happy to have you here, man. We coming straight from class, right?
Absolutely. Just
Yeah,
had class. Now we here.
yeah. We did 200 kicks today, man.
We did 200 kicks,
Yeah.
a couple of takedowns, wrist locks.
Yes,
Kind
sir.
of got it in
Yeah,
today.
it's not a game, man. It's not a game at all. Hey, bro,
Absolutely.
I want to start off by saying this, man. I've been training with you for a couple of months, bro, and I found the school online, and I came in, and we had met each other a few times before,
Right.
and I gotta say, bro, just in front of the people, man, you are an excellent instructor, and I've been learning a lot. I've been learning so much. The classes have been everything I hope they would be and more. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. You know, they say give you your flowers
Right.
while you here, man. So you definitely are great at what it is you do, man.
Man, thank you,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So with that being said, let's go into a little bit about your background and your training. Why don't you break it down? Talk to me like we never met before, man. What is your specialty in the martial arts, and what do you have belts or certifications in? Break it down for the people a little bit.
Okay. Cool. So I had several different certifications. I've taken a lot of classes and seminars through Kuk-Soo One under instructor Oren Hidden. I've taken jiu-jitsu classes under instructors like Unique and Professor John. I've had plenty of instructors and plenty of training, but my root and my background comes from the Four Wind system with head instructor Grandmaster Winston, who's the head instructor of Bushido School of Martial Arts.
Okay.
He started training me back in 1990, I believe I started, under my uncle, Grandmaster Eugene Coca, and man, I've been in martial arts ever since.
Yeah.
So it was a part of my family because my uncle did it, his uncle did it, and it was just passed on and passed on. And being honest, I never liked doing the martial arts. You know, the martial arts, when people was having parties, when they was going to basketball games and they was hanging out, I always had karate class as a kid,
Right.
and I really, really didn't like that.
Mhm.
It was only until my older years when I started to really develop and really started to understand that the martial arts was working for me. Because I was a kid, a young black man growing up in the neighborhoods of Chicago, such as Roseland and
Yeah.
Inglewood, and I was forced into some fights, and I was coming out of those fights unscathed. And it was only until my uncle pointed out, he said, man, it's because of your martial arts, your karate training. And I used to say stuff like, man, but I ain't kicking nobody, I ain't throwing nobody. And he was saying, man, karate and martial arts, what you're doing, is in everything. Just you noticing the threat, just you noticing how they gonna swing, where they gonna swing, your timing, your breathing, all of that is a martial arts. It don't matter how much I disguise it with some type of street fighting, I'm still using proper technique when I'm defending myself against my opponents.
Yeah.
So I started taking the martial arts a little bit more serious. And I'm very proud of the position that it has landed me in today. Being a student of the streets,
Right.
I was put in some trouble back in 2001. You know, I had a confrontation with some guys, and the confrontation was physical. Then it led to gunfire, and then I was facing 90 years in prison. Yes,
90.
sir. I was facing 90 years in prison.
Okay.
I end up with what we call beating a murder,
Okay.
and but I still was convicted of an aggravated battery with a firearm.
Okay.
And when that happened, I was out on bond, and I knew that I was about to spend a lot of time in prison around a bunch of scary people because I was only 19 years old and I was 147 pounds. So I started training hard. I started going to different karate schools like Larry Tankston. He accepted me in. My instructor, I was going to Jaws school. I was going to my uncle's school. I was just going around training.
Yeah.
And then when I went into the penal system, it was not my physical training that carried me those 15 years. It was the mental and spiritual training that martial arts gave me, and that's how I was able to endure that road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the physical did help because I did have to crack a couple of heads
Right.
throughout
Right.
the 15 years, but it was the mental and spiritual. That's what really held me down. So I started. So to answer the question about my type of training,
Mhm.
I'm not the type of instructor that say I do traditional karate because I don't.
Right.
I don't. I don't like the terms traditional because being in Chicago, what I know is that a lot of instructors have changed things throughout the years to fit today's time. So it's not traditional anymore. So I don't do a traditional karate. I had people who comment on some of the things that I post on Facebook and social media, like, that's not karate kick, that's not this, that. I just use a term that's more comfortable for people to accept. But the art that I study is the art of punches, kicks, throws, takedowns, locks, chokes, whatever. Running. If you got to run, I got the art of running too. Because if I can see you, if it's a door for me to run through, I'm going to teach you how to run and get out that door quickly.
Right.
And fight back another day if you got to.
Yes, sir.
But that's the system that I do. We call it universal system. I'm from Bushido School of Martial Arts. My instructor, who is 61 years old, 10th degree black belt, he's still training and learning every single day. And he'll send me something saying, hey, what you think about this technique? What you think about that? I want to work with this. So he's still growing and elevating. He's been doing martial arts for 50 years. Right. So therefore, I'm always going to be trained.
I dig that. That's one of the things I like, man. I got my black belt at my first dan at Fitzgerald Martial Arts, and I like that you called me in class one day. You said, "Oh, you a karate man, right?" Mm-hmm. and I get what you're saying about training at all the different spaces, because in that class I learned how to kick and punch the hell out of somebody, right? Mm-hmm. But in your class, I've been learning the difference between perfecting your technique and, as you always say, being ready for the gas station, or being ready for the bus stop, or being ready for, and I see in you, bro, that situational awareness. I see that in your speed and your movement. It's like second nature. You know what I'm saying? To be prepared. So it definitely, all that training has definitely paid off, man.
Yes, sir. Definitely. I've been in some situations, brother. Yeah. I have been in some situations, and when I first went into prison, I was quiet. I was kind of mild. I was more of a timid person. I can fight. I wasn't the best fighter in karate class, but I was good enough to go by. Right. But then when I went into the system and I was around who I thought was some monsters, big swole guys, real aggressive guys, I wasn't aggressive like that. But I became very aggressive because I was surrounded by people, so my character started to change. And when I started putting the hands on people, I was a problem. Yeah. And I noticed how easy it was. To break a person, because I went in fighting grown men. I went in fighting in a place where it was do or die, literally die. So man, when I understood how to break a person, I wanted to come outside of that penal system. And I wanted to offer to our communities what was given to me, and it's not what everybody think, which is punch a person, kick a person, hurt a person, put a person down. No, it was how to think and how to maneuver around people. Right. And then if a person get in your way, you go over, you go under, or you go through them. Yeah. My instructor tell me all the time that, man, sometimes you have to play mental judo with them. Mm-hmm. You can outthink people. But being in Chicago, you have people that continue, that want to press and press and press, and you have no choice but to put them down. Mm-hmm. So I offer you and I teach you, which I'm still learning too, is how to think and outmaneuver people mentally. Right. But man, if you got to get physical, then I'll make sure that we come at home. Yeah. And that's one thing that I focus on. A lot of our children, they don't have the confidence that they need to survive in these streets. Right. We got a lot of con artists out here. We have a lot of true live monsters out here. I just seen on the social media news where some guy ran up some stairs at a church and shoved a 68-year-old woman down the stairs, went in her purse, took her key. We're dealing with some real life monsters out here. Mm-hmm. And I know you have a mom. I had the pleasure of meeting your mom. Mm-hmm. I had the pleasure of meeting your wife. I had the pleasure of meeting your daughter. And I know that you're here right now doing an interview with me. We need people that's going to guard them when your mama go to the store or your daughter going here. You can't always do it. Right. So it's my job to build up my students and the people in my community to at least be that watchful eye. So your yours is protected and their minds is protected. Right. That's my true goal. And I think that we've been doing a good job with doing that. One person at a time.
Yeah, I see that, man. I see, especially in the young students, man, when they come into class, I see the level of confidence, right, in themselves and in the school and in their training partners. And you know what I'm saying? I like that you put that family energy in there, right?
Yes, sir.
And that sense of, I've heard you say several times, like as our sensei, which is funny to me because I'm like 6'4", 260, but you tell me all the time, like as your sensei, my job is to protect you,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And I see you carry that on into your community, and you instill that that's a responsibility of ours. Like you see somebody doing something wrong to somebody who can't help themselves, you got a responsibility to
We
to,
do.
to do that in the community, man. Where does that come from, bro? Because a lot of people, everybody is, I'm gonna mind my business. All right, that ain't got nothing to do with me, man. So where do you get that caring from? That where did you get that instilled in you at?
Honestly, my instructors. It's two parts. My instructors were real life superheroes. They y- you would really have to interview them to get to know them and they pass and the stuff that they've done because they don't come from the best places. They weren't surrounded by the best people. But as a kid, I saw them nurturing the community. I saw them feeding the homeless. I saw them protecting women. I know the classmates that I have that didn't have a stable household. They used to come and sleep in the dojo. That they used to feed. They used to buy them Nikes and stuff like that. I witnessed that. I'm glad that I wasn't. My mom and my uncle, they was always there for me. But the kids that I grew up with, they like my brothers and sisters in karate class. So that's the first part. I saw that. Second of all, that 15 years I did in prison. So when I went in 2002. From 2002 to 2016, I was gone. I was removed from the social media era. And the good thing about that is I sit and I watch and I witness how the most important thing for me to do, if I see a guy beating up a lady, if I see a guy or a lady bullying a man or whatever, if I see somebody getting robbed, if I see a fight on the train, the most important thing for the average person to do is to pull out their phone and record it instead of pulling out their phone and calling the police.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
We see so many injustices happen that could have been prevented with me just screaming out, hey, I'm going to call the police. I ain't really going to call nobody, but just me saying, hey, I see you. That can help somebody. And back to what I said, I have people in my family that can't move like I move or do like I move. You have people in your family. We want to make sure that they're protected even when we're not. And it's so discouraging and heartbreaking when I find out that this happened and you was around recording. You didn't put your hand in to stop. You didn't call the police. You just didn't say stop. You recorded. That's the weakest thing. We got a lot of men. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
When I look on Facebook and I see these fights, I be want to say, man, I'm going to keep it PG, but when you see two people fight, if it's man or woman, woman and man, woman and woman or whatever, there's a hope amongst them.
Yeah.
It's the person recording. Because that's both. There's nowhere in the world I'm going to sit now. I understand people going to fight. I fight. That's cool. But the person sit there and record it to post it, that's crazy as hell to me.
Yeah. It's a different mentality out here now,
It
bro.
is.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of that, man. I've broken up fights. I've taken firearms from people. Just the other day, I seen my instructors. We was in a barbershop. Actually, this was a couple years ago. A lady hit a car, and the car flipped over. She was inside the car with her baby, and she was screaming. Now, when it went boom, 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 we was in a barbershop. My instructor, Rusty, I don't know how old Rusty is, but he almost 60 for sure, because Sensei Winston is like 61. They grew up together. We're in the barbershop. I'm 40. When you hear it, they beat me out the door.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm younger than them. I'm stronger than them. I ain't supposed. When boom, 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 they sprung into action. And it reminded me of me being a little kid again and watching them when they 20 and 30 helping somebody out. One jumped in the car, the other one secured the baby, they stopped the traffic. They did all these things, man. So, they not getting no younger. It's my job. And when my students see me do it, then, hopefully they'll, we got to help each other out. We all we got.
I dig that. Hey, man, I'm definitely, bro, I'm about the community, man. And that's another thing I like. I like being a part of what you got going on, and this mentality that you putting out here of helping each other and being responsible and being accountable. Because what you speaking on with people recording instead of de-escalating is accountability.
Yes, sir.
Right? And that's for me, because I grew up the same way you did. I was on the south side, raising hell, running the streets, getting kicked out of school. But what changed my mentality, and that's why I asked where you got it from, was the accountability that was placed on me by the people in my life. Like, you got this power, and you got this intellect, and you got this following, and you gonna be stupid with it. You're gonna be ignorant with it. You know what I'm saying? So I love to see you teaching that and instilling that. And even for me, bro, as you know, I walked into the first dojo to train at 36, right?
Okay.
And that first year, all I'm hearing in my head is funny. First year, all I'm hearing in my head is, Tabo Ho, you 36 in the karate class, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. But training with, like Master Fitzgerald had a different style, right? But what I liked about his style is he did the same thing with the energy and the spirit and the state of mind, right? Everything is yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, right? To the point where I'm training 5 days a week. Now I'm in the real world. And somebody handed me something and I'm, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And they looking like, whoa, like, man, you ain't got to do all that. No, I do, because I'm different. And like I've heard you say, like, as martial artists, we better.
We better.
We better. So I dig that, man, and I'm glad to see that that's something that's universal, because like I said, when I come into class and you like, oh, this is a new student, and they, good afternoon, sir, it's nice to meet you, sir. That's dope. That's what we need more of in our community, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you a real life superhero, bro. Like,
thank you, man.
real talk, man. So let's get into, because people always ask, with the martial arts, like you said, they think it's punching and kicking and fighting, but some of the health benefits, some of the other benefits that you found, like you say, the mental, the spiritual. The other day we were talking about when you're doing kata and what have you found to be, or what can you explain as some of the other benefits other than just being able to protect yourself?
Okay, that's cool. So in most styles of martial arts, so the way that we label it is soft, medium, and hard. Soft meaning that what you do is less forceful. By us being from Chicago, being in a lot of these urban, a lot of these urban communities, my instructor, he trained us to go from hard to soft. Hard meaning the very first thing that we learn is fighting. Hard style. Boom, 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 fighting, breaking, hurting. And then as you get older and as you progress in your art, you become more on the softer side of things. So instead of, you breaking a person's arm, it's putting the least amount of physical energy out there, and it still trips me out. So some of the health benefits that you start to learn is you learn how to breathe. How to bring the air and energy in, you let it out. You start learning how to hold your balance. A lot of teenagers we tell them to put one foot up and they toddling notes. If you're doing that at 17, what you gonna do when you're 60?
Right.
If you can't stand up on one foot. I had so many, I meet so many people like, hey man, why you in the cast? Why you got that? Oh, when I was walking, I fell down the stairs. Hey, I was walking. As a martial artist, we could fall down a flight of stairs. We're going to take as less damage as done. When we just went skating the other day, man, people was falling and they smacking the floor. Last time I went skating, there was a lady staring at us. She fell on that wrist and her bone popped out.
Oh, man.
She wasn't a martial artist. She don't know the proper way to fall. Just being an older person, you're falling. A martial artist, you fall, pow. It's just it's just so amazing. You learn, you start off hard, meaning you learn how to break somebody or you break the body. But then as you go into your training, you learn how to heal somebody, how to heal the body. You learn what fixes the body. And I think that's just so cool. Now, I'm not at that part of my training yet. Okay. That's why I always go back to my instructor, like, hey, man, They're like, hey, breathe in, do this, do that. This is an ancient Chinese secret. That's when they just get to talking crazy, right? But man, you be like, okay, you work. You know, I do have a real life story. Master Charles Harris. I broke my leg at a karate tournament. I fought this guy. I threw a kick. The man blocked it and broke my leg in half. So when I withdrew my leg, it popped. Wow. I was a yellow belt. I'll never forget. When I went down, my leg was like this. Master Charles Harris grabbed my leg, put it on his stomach, had my heel in his obi, which is his belt, and he started to massage it up and down. He was massaging it up and down. Then he took my my belt and he tied the belt around my shin. When I went to the hospital, the doctor examined me. It definitely was a straight break. And he said, man, there was a doctor on the scene. Who was the doctor? How did the doctor? And I was like, man, there wasn't no doctor on the scene. There wasn't no doctor. We talked. He said, no. He said, man, your bone is perfectly put in place. Perfect. I said, no, my karate instructor did this. He said, you sure he's not a doctor? It takes training to do this. And then I told him what he did. And the doctor told me, he said, well, what he did was he massaged it before the swelling set in, allowed the bone to fall into place. So when it swole up, it was already in place. He said the most damage happens not from the necessary break, but from the swelling. Right. Once it swell up and that bone is broke like that, he's like, oh man, I was shot. Yeah. He said, but just having it in place. So that's the healing part. Right. My buddy, who's an instructor as well, Master Oren, I'm talking to him the other day, and he's I think an 8th degree black belt. He has a different system called Kuk Su Wan, and he told me that he's still training. I said, man, what you learning? He's learning acupuncture. I was like, what? Yeah. He said, man, at this level of my training, I start taking classes for acupuncture. So the martial arts is also about healing. Right. So that's why it's for everybody to do. You know, you could be 70 years old, you still could come in and have a very successful class. They're not going to have a class as a 15-year-old, but they'll focus on balance, breathing, thinking, moving, meditation. All these are parts of martial arts.
Word. Flexibility.
Absolutely. Flexibility,
yeah.
Cardio, hand-eye coordination. That's a big thing. Hand-eye coordination. These are some of the things that we don't talk about when we talk about the martial arts. Right. But these are the foundation that we need.
Word. I dig that. Again, I definitely have, I move better at 44 than I did at 36, right? Partially because of the martial arts. And even during the time where I was going from one school to another, I still trained and drilled and had all martial arts based training set up for myself because I was feeling the difference in running up the stairs or feeling the difference in getting in and out of the car and different things like that. So that's one of the things I always explain to people when I'm talking about the school, because I be pubbing every day, man.
Yes, sir.
Especially, I'm trying to get dudes my size in there. So I'm seeing these, yeah, man, what's up, bro? You want to come train? Which is, you was telling me, it's surprising to me that I see all these swole, want to be, no disrespect to the fellas out there, but these want to be tough guys. And I'm like, hey, bro, why don't you come and train today? Oh, man, I don't want to come in there and get beat up and blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, it's a lot of other benefits to this, man. So, yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. My next on the list, man, and we got to talk about this because I've seen a lot of things in martial arts, man, and you train a lot of kids.
Right.
So I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Master Fitzgerald, man. I've seen Master Fitzgerald talk to kids like they're nothing, right? I've heard him literally tell kids like, "This ain't summer camp, and I'm not your friend."
Right. Yes,
Get it together,
absolutely.
right?
That's a real karate teacher.
Right. And I've seen the look on parents' face like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So in training children and in developing them in this discipline, how is the relationship with the parents? And how does that, the good, the bad, because one of the things with even me now, I'm trying to get my daughter to come back to train.
Okay.
And I wanted my nephew to come and train too, but the way I'm looking at it, because I'm in school and I'm learning these things, is way different than they're looking at it. So why don't you break down to me a little bit about what should parents know when they bringing their kids to martial arts, and what should they come in? What type of attitude should they come in with?
You have to come in with an empty cup.
Okay.
You have to come in. So, so when you talk to children, or you talk to not even just children, but it's adults too, like the way I talk to Don and Armand with the joking and stuff like that. That's to help build on mental stability as well. Football coaches do it all the time and they get praised. When I said, I don't play football.
Right.
When I see the way them coaches be talking,
Yeah.
not only in the NFL, but I see them talking to the Pee Wee, I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't have said that. And I done said some crazy stuff. Them football coach be in their face, no. Parents don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. But anytime you have a martial arts program, they want me to pass out brownies and lollipops. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there to teach you how to get your butt home. Yeah. And sometimes, the talking and maneuvering ain't going to be, you have to crack somebody's skull. Mm-hmm. I don't teach that, and I tell people this all the time, so let's not get it twisted. Right. I don't teach self-defense. Right. Do I know self-defense? Yes. But we're in Chicago. Self-defense is for you to put a person down. You're not going to hurt them badly, which is good. Right. And then you run away and get away. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, here, I can only speak about here, they don't understand that. Right. You're going to have to really lay somebody down up in here. Yeah. Because they're going to keep coming. And it's my job, like I say, to get you home. It's my job to make sure that the little girl come home. You can come home beat up. You can come home lost the fight. Right. As long as you come home. That's all I care about. Yeah. So dealing with the parents, children is always great. It's the parents that's the problem. I've had good, I've had bad, I've had the ugly. When I knew I had something special, and I'm not doing nothing no different than what my uncle and what all my instructors did. When they came to class, they tortured us. I'm talking about torture. They called us names, they crack jokes on us, they do this, and then when you fighting, you be like, man, I really want to hurt you for real, right. And you be swinging the rule, so it's just helping us develop. But what happens is, we go to school, somebody talk about how big my lips was. This was my thing. I got a pink lip. I used to have a little forehead. I was black. I was ashy. Man, that stuff I heard worse than that in karate class. Right. I didn't care about that. Yeah. That wasn't nothing. Yeah. And I also learned how to shoot back, So, it helped build the mental fortitude. Unfortunately, people think it's a game, but it's not. If you look up the statistics, several years ago, we had kids that was going in the closet killing themselves because they was getting cyber bullied. They not even getting bullied by somebody in front of them. Yeah. Somebody talk about their ears, they pink lips, they black skin, they white skin, whatever, they fat, whatever it is on the internet. And it was making kids kill themselves. And it was an epidemic because they couldn't control it. It wasn't 1, 2, 3 dozen cases. This was all over the country. All over the country, yeah. So what we do is we create. So I look up to the football coaches too, because what we do when we do that, we create the mental fortitude. We give them what they need. It ain't nice, but I ain't here to be nice. I ain't here to be your friend. But what's tripped out about that, when I used to work the kids programs in Chicago public schools, this lady pulled me to the side and she brought to my attention. She said, I don't know what you do and how you do it. And I was like, what's going on? She said, this year you got this many students enrolled. I had triple than what dance, theater, they used to have theater, dance, arts and crafts. I had 3 times the amount of students in all of them. The problem was when people see karate, kids and parents, they sign them up because they think karate is cool because it looks so cool on TV. Right. But then they get an instructor like me that's going to talk to them a certain way. I'm going to deal with them a certain type of way. I'm going to punch them. I'm going to kick them. I'm going to throw them down. I'm going to do all these things. And they was like, how the parents knew you did this, and they signed up 3 times as more than next year. They had to take some of my kids to field other programs. That happened at 1, 2, 3, 4, every program that I ever did in Chicago public schools. Yeah. I had the most. And because I don't talk to them like they kids. I talk to them like they young adults. I talk to them a certain way. I deal with them with a certain way, but I treat them with respect. And I tell them, whatever you got coming, you're going to get it. If it's good, you're going to get it. If it's bad, you're going to get it. So kids, they have a responsibility to bring their report cards in. They got a responsibility to let me know how they doing at home. And it's just not in my program. That's how a real martial arts program is supposed to run and facilitate. So when it comes to parents, I tell parents in the door, I let them know before they sign up. I say, listen, how did you hear about me? When people say, oh, this person told me that person, that's cool, that's fine. But they say, oh my God, you put up such a cute ad on Facebook. Well, I let them know at the door, hey, look, I'm not that cute ad. That's what I wanted you to see. Right. But this is what's going to happen in here. They're going to listen. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. If they don't, I'm going to crack them upside their head.
Right.
This is how that go.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't even hit my kid. I don't. Okay, right. Well, you have a good day. There's another school down the street, and I've lost plenty of people like that. Yeah. You know, but the people that have stayed, man, we made champions out of them. Yeah. Not just champions in no karate tournament. I'm talking about real life champions with their family, with their friends. When I go into schools, they principals and they teachers say, you're the dad. Oh my God, you're the karate teacher. He is like this. He is like that. He's wonderful. Like how you said, the respect, the mannerisms, is there. You know, and then my phone blow up because my students call me. My students text message me. My students DM me. Right. Hey man, can we do, you know, so it's a relationship that we have. You know, but it's a loving relationship. Right. So when I have parents that don't know how to step out of the way of that, I let them know like, hey, you know, either you can remove yourself, because I have people that say, I tell them like, well, when you take your car to the mechanic shop, do you overlook them and tell them how to put the brakes on? If you can do that, you could have fixed your car at home. Yeah. So don't come into my program and don't tell me how to do this and how to do that. You came here for a reason. Allow me to do what I'm trying to do. Allow me to fulfill my purpose. You know, and when a parent relaxes and let it happen, I get nothing but praise. Yeah. Every Christmas, I get a bunch of gifts. Thanksgiving, I got so many plates. You know, the parents, they love me just as much as the kids love me. You know, but I have had some parents that come in and they get confused. And it's not their fault. It's the fault that it's a lot of fakes out here. It's a lot of fake martial arts instructors. Karate, judo, kung fu, whatever. It's a lot of fakes out here. Yeah. So I've had unruly people come in and challenge me. You know, and I lay their butts down. Right. And I publicly let it be known that I lay their butt down. Because they're going to know that when they come across this patch, this school, this instructor, we ain't about playing no games. You know, we're going to be very respectful. We're going to be very mindful. But if it has to come to the showdown, we're going to get out. You know, and I do that so that my students know that life ain't all lollipops and brownies.
Yeah, struggle builds character, bro.
Absolutely.
And you doing it in that controlled environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I dig that. And you know, I'm thinking about what you're saying. Getting hit is what scares everybody, right? People who train it, when you first start getting hit upside your head, it's rough, right? For parents, seeing their kids get hit upside the head the first few times is rough. But once you get over that hump and you realize, okay, they're going to get hit and kicked a lot, but every time it's going to make them stronger. Then you get to that point where you worthy of being part of this family.
Absolutely.
You understand what comes
You understand. And you understand the realness that it's going to take out. Let me tell you a quick story. So, man, some of my students I've had for the pleasure of 6, 7, 8 years. I remember some of these boys when they was 4, 5, 6 years old. You know, I noticed a few weeks ago, I put on Facebook like, man, y'all parents going to start rooting for these kids. Because when I'm fighting, the parents is actually rooting for their son, their daughter, woo. And when they're punching and kicking, I'm like, oh, it feel like you hit. Yeah. And I'm trying to hit them back, woo. And I'm like, these dudes is really trying to give me the business now. You know, and people like, man, that's your training. That's what you put into them. That's what Master Winston. I hear the kid, so I said, man, why you hit me? Man, Master Winston taught me that. I'm like, come on, man. You know, I really got to train to keep up with these dudes, you know, because they youth, they fast, they strong. And I'm sitting there like, man, they parents believed in the process. Now they parents see them go to tournaments, not only in Chicago, but outside of the state. You know, we going to Puerto Rico in a few months. And the parents, they support that full strong. They see their baby going there and take care of business, win or lose. And I see so many parents and grown men with tears in their eyes. Like, I never knew he could do that. I never knew that my little girl can do that. I never knew. You know, so that's what we instill on them. And now, you know, I'm still learning myself. So I see my students, I'm like, man, dude, my instructor, I got a text message at 3 o'clock this morning. At 3 o'clock this morning, my instructor sent me a text message that said, hey, man, magic the business. Because we got a student name, his real name is Malik. His mama and father, they don't well, his father, I personally know his dad. You know, they put him in our school, and hey man, whatever y'all do, y'all do. We done had magic for a few years. Now when he fight, it's like fighting a grown man. And I see the technique. I don't notice until I sit back and replay it in my head, probably watch a couple of videos. I'm like, man, this dude is good. You know, so man, it's an honor. You know, even with yourself, brother, you know, when you talk about giving flowers, anybody could take anybody in and show them some stuff and make them go, oh, wow. But when you have a black belt, I told you this before, when you have a black belt, you train from another great school, and you was there for 8 years or more, and then you come into somebody else's house and you say, man, I'm interested in this. Man, that's an honor. That's an honor, because I could be a fake and I could just teach anybody anything. They don't know nothing. But when you're somewhere, you say, man, I love it where I'm at. And then you have to maneuver for whatever reason and say, man, I'm comfortable with being here. I'm comfortable with bringing my daughter here. I'm comfortable with introducing my mama to you guys. Man, that says a lot. You know, so I'm honored to have that. That's the biggest honor that you paying me. You know, the biggest honor is that you allow me into your family, man. You know, and that's a big honor. So the families that I have, whenever we had that event, the mamas, man, we went camping. I'm the worst planner. We took 65 people camping. When I mean camping, I mean we went to Amboy, Illinois. We was in the woods. We had to build tents and live in sleeping bags. We went fishing. We cooked everything over an open fire and all that. So I planned the trip. I thought it was wonderful. Why when we went there, brother, I did not put in the budget, nothing for food. We had 65 hungry people there.
What?
Yes. So let me tell you. So they talking about this is a catch and release pond.
Yeah.
I'm like, catch and release. I say, man, we finna catch and fry these over here. So they like, no, man, I say, man, we ain't got no food. Yeah. My parents, they used a link, they whatever, and they was going back and forth to that store every day. I ain't have to come out my pocket a dime.
That's what's up.
And we was feeding 60-something people. We was down there for 3 or 4 days, man. That's how much the parents believe in the program. And then they get their own relationships. And they told me, oh, we're going to Puerto Rico. We're going to do a fun. I ain't got time for no fun. We ain't ask you nothing, Sensei. We got this. And they planning a fundraiser.
That's what's up.
You know, man. So it's a family. It's a true village. And I'm just grateful I'm grateful to have an instructor that put me in the front. But the stuff and the moves that I make, man, it's due to him. Because I seen him. I see the way he worked. And he'll call me like, Ty, you shouldn't have did this. Ty, you shouldn't have said that. Ty, you should do it this way. You know, he liked to play the background, but I do it. And now I see in my teenagers orchestrating stuff. But, man, it's all due to my parents. We got a great support system. So I'm very appreciative of it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. So, y'all, you rolled deep, bro. The skating thing, that was awesome, man. I was waiting out there with my daughter, and she saw y'all coming, and she was like, oh, my goodness, that's the crew, right? I dig that, man. I dig the family environment, and yeah, bro, listen, man, you doing some awesome things in the community, bro. It just, like I said, I'm always talking about you, bro. Even only having trained a couple of months, I'm telling everybody I know, this is somewhere you need to be if you want to be not only a better martial artist, but a better person. You know, coming to class and vibing with some of the people, I just feel like it's making me a better person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about, bro. Let me ask you this: 5 years from now, because you're growing. Right.
Yes, sir.
How many students you got now?
Right now, we currently have, I want to say it's 60 of us.
60? Okay.
Maybe 60 of us.
Cool.
And this is the largest amount this is the largest amount of students that we've had in Bushido history, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that 60 isn't just from the classes, but it's also from the instructors that we have back on the board, and also the adults as well. Because now we probably got about 15 instructors now. You know, that's in and out. They'll do a day here, do a day there, do 2 days here, whatever. And that's great because these instructors is people that I was on the mats with back in 1990. Yeah, Lil Wins, Lil Wins, Sharman, Sensei Willie. Man, we go back from 1990. Yeah. You know, and they like, man, you know, I'm doing this. I'm raising my family. I'll be there Tuesday and Wednesday, though. You can depend on me. You know, and then we got newer instructors as well, including yourself, that we going to put to work. You know, so because it's a family thing and can't none of us do it alone. Right? And another thing, when it comes to dealing with parents or it comes to dealing with students, the students, yes, they love me. You know, I can't leave the class without them hopping all on me, attacking me, Sensei this. It don't matter how bad I just talked about them, beat them, did whatever. They gonna be all over me, right? But the truth of the matter is that everybody can't receive me. That's just true. Right. So that's why we need a Sensei Earl. You know, because they might feel free talking to Sensei Earl about something. Right. You know, they might feel free talking to Sensei Charmin. They might not even feel free talking to the senseis. But we got we got Ursuline. Right. That's that. We got Tatiana. We got Reba. We got Nicole. We got all these women, and they, baby, they know. Hey, what's going on? And we've had that. We've had, you know, students take issues to people that the parents, they didn't feel comfortable talking to their parents. So it takes a village. 5 years from now, we want to keep doing. We have a saying: want to stop, can't stop. Want to quit, can't quit. I would love 5 years from now to have Bushido School of Martial Arts in another state. That's my thing. If we can, once we get this school stable enough to run and continue to offer our talents and our services to the community to where it's steady growing and steady developing, we'll be able to leave. You know, I have instructors that want to go to Florida. You know, me, myself, I want to go to another state. You know, but it's want to stop, can't stop, want to quit, can't quit. We go there, we going to develop another program. And then the same way you saw us roll at that skating trip or when we went camping, when we rolled 70, 80 deep, because we got a lot of parent involvement, man, imagine us all coming to one state, you know, and we all meeting each other, man. I think that's what's needed, because not knocking nobody else's school or nobody else's program. You know, I go to a lot of different schools. I'm also a white belt, one stripe in jiu-jitsu. Okay. You know, white belt. You know, they be tearing my butt up in there. I hate that jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu ain't no joke.
It ain't no joke. And I tell all the jiu-jitsu instructors, man, I hate it. I hate doing this. Don't get it wrong. I hate grappling. People like, man, and then they line is this. All fights start standing 90%. No, it don't. They don't start on the damn ground. That's not true. Because when I fight, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to break your jaw or something. Ain't no going to the ground. No, that's a lie. They said that happened. That statistic actually comes from law enforcement. That when you engage in law enforcement, 90% of those interactions start on the ground. I ain't law enforcement. Right. And you ain't either. Or if you is, still, you know, if we got to go, we going. I ain't trying to go to the ground. Right. So they say, well, Tyrone, you always talk bad about jiu-jitsu and you hate it. Why are you here? Oh, because I got to know it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to know it. Because one of these dudes, because one of these dudes grab me, wrist lock me, flip me over, or I fall, and now he done got me. I need to know it. Yeah. I never said that it was a bogus art or an art that wasn't. I hate it because I don't like that pain, that grinding, that sweat. I used to have this dude I just trained with. He trained with me. He's sweating all over me. Man, that used to make me want to throw up. Yeah. I hate the art. You know what I'm saying? But it's a beautiful art. You need to know it. You know, because if a person grab you, you know, or if you're in a situation and you can't pop, you need to know how to do it. Jiu-jitsu is a beautiful art, you know, so I'm also, you know, going back to the jiu-jitsu. But I have my moments. I go there for 4-5 months, well, I take off 2 months. I go back, I take off, you know, because it's a very important. I think all martial arts is good. All of them, depending on the situation that you're in. You know, if I'm lying on my back, punching and kicking you, it ain't going to be beneficial. You know, I ain't going to lie. If you fighting 3 or 4 people, jiu-jitsu is not going to be beneficial at that time. Right. You know, just being real. You know, but it's a beautiful art. I think that we all need to learn it, all need to know it. So I'm still going out and learning. I want to get some Kuk Su Wan training in with my guy Oren Head. You know, the man is cold with the weapons. You know, the man is cold.
Yeah, I seen him with the.
Oh, he cold. Yeah, he don't get the props that he need to get. You know what I'm saying? He really don't. And it ain't just like the dude cold. Yeah. You know, man, when he did them 2 bowls and he broke down how to use the weapon, and I was like, oh, that's cold. You know, so it's a lot of things that I want to do every day. I think about training, you know, but I do want to build and continue to expand our brand, which is Bushido Warriors. And I like for people to know that when they see this patch and they see us coming, it ain't no games that's about to be played. We are for business. And that's why when we march into the skating rink like you saw us, the same way we roll the tournaments. You better pack a lunch because we coming.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, which brings me to this final point. I'm gonna get with you, bro, because we gotta talk about merchandising.
Yes, sir.
Man. We gotta talk about merchandising because what you're doing is a brand in and of itself, right?
Yes, sir.
And once you train for a certain amount of time, you become the Bushido way.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So you gotta be able to carry that not only in your mind and in your heart, but on your clothes. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
And your pocketbook, your wallet, your backpack, your hat. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get on that, bro. I'm gonna stay on you about that because it's something that's needed, man. You know what I'm saying? And they see it. Like I say, you got 70 kids right now, or 60 kids, 60 people around Chicago who are different, who are better because they are identified with your brand.
Yes, sir.
So once we add the merchandising, then it's just gonna grow it to the next level, man. So
Yes,
I'm on
sir.
you. I just want to say that on this camera because
Okay.
I'm gonna hold you accountable to that, bro.
Right.
Because I still need my shirt, man.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you're making me wait till I train a certain amount.
No, I ain't get down on it like that. That is what my instructor do, though. He do that.
Yeah, I dig it, man.
Yeah, he do that. Nah, I ain't gonna get down like that.
I'm on that, bro, because I want to represent what you're doing, bro. Like, for real. Yeah, so tell the people, man, where they. Well, I'm gonna say this first. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m. for you grown folks that want to come out and rock with us. I be trying to get people to that morning class because I can't do evenings
gonna
now.
push it harder.
But y'all got to come out and train with us. We be having a good time. So you break it down where you at. How can the people get in touch with you? What's the school address and info?
Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, my real name is Tyrone Hemingway. Tyrone is Tyrone. Last name Hemingway, Hemingway. You can type those names on your social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and it definitely should lead you to me. And once you find me, you find Bushido, right? Our school is located 2413 West 79th Street. That's one block west of Western. We're right on the 79th Street. We have classes available 7 days a week, all throughout the day. We have some amazing instructors. We got some amazing students, amazing parents. And I'm just not talking it because I'm talking. I'm talking it because we're walking it. And the way that you find me is if you found him, then you found me. So that means you don't even have to contact me. If you follow this program and if you follow Sensei Earl, all you gotta do is talk to him, and he can give you the information to come to Bushido and check us out. We only advertise kids because that's what people like to see. Kids. They don't want to see two overgrown farts like me and you wrestling around. People don't really watch that. But don't get it twisted. This program ain't just for children. We have law enforcement classes. We have senior citizen classes. We have adult classes. We have a women's self-defense class coming. I get my days so mixed. I believe it's April 27th. Okay. I'm definitely gonna shoot you some information about that. And we're just gonna continue to do things for our community. Even if you're not into the punching and kicking. I received a phone call yesterday. I think you was there. I'm sure you was. My buddy Jermaine M is like, hey man, y'all went and did this, y'all went and did that, man. Call me next time. I have so many people that ain't into the fight or the kicking, the punching, the self-defense, the exercising, but they still want to be part of what we do. Right. Still want, man, how can I donate? Man, how can I do this? Hey, man, let me chaperone. You got 50 kids that let me be a chaperone. I'm honored to have these type of people in my corner, in our corner. So what we do is going to be for the betterment of everybody. So in the next 5 years, man, I'm really hoping that, I'm not hoping, I know it's going to happen because we can't be stopped. All right. So that's how you find me. But if you don't have that information, get up with the brother. The brother know how to get up with me. Or you get up with him. He ain't got to talk to me. He's just going to bring you in class, and we just going to go from there.
We're going to get busy. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you coming out, man. You can find me at Black on Black Wealth on Facebook and Instagram, and Black on Black Wealth 1 on TikTok. It's always a pleasure chopping it up with you and training with you, bro. I appreciate you giving me your time and coming in for this interview today. I appreciate you all tuning in and watching. We'll be back soon with some exciting guests and dialogue, touching bases on what's happening in Chicago and around the world. And always remember, we need Black on Black Wealth from coast to coast like butter on toast. We'll catch y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in, Ken, folks. Peace.
Hey, peace. Thank you again, my brother. I appreciate you. I really do, man. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. That was dope, bro.
Man, bro, that was I felt like a goddamn superstar, man. That was cool, man.